9 News at 9 starts right now.
Good evening. Thanks for being here at 9. I'm Alexandra Lewis.
I'm Jennifer Meckles. An airport shuttle company in Longmont is no longer running anymore. It's abruptly shut down this month.
9 News reporter Ria Jaw talked with a former driver who says he and his co-workers were just as surprised as the customers.
Yeah, the driver I spoke with said in the months leading up to the shutdown, they noticed gas cards stopped working, their radio communication went out, and they started getting late paychecks. It all made sense when he got an email from the owner last week.
8 Black was known as having excellent customer service.
Drivers were the face of 8 Black.
8 Black was an airport shuttle company. I'd say drivers, we had between 12 and 15, dispatchers 2 or 3, and 2 supervisors.
Rich Strauss was one of those drivers, taking people to and from Boulder County to the airport.
June 13th, I was driving to my shift.
And he got an email from the owner of the company with this subject line:
Shuttle operations ending June 13th. What stuck out was the email was sent at 12:55 and that the company was closing at 4:30, and this was the first formal notice that we had.
With just 3 hours notice, the company was shutting down.
But it literally happened that fast.
Rich and the other drivers were left with a choice.
The right thing was to not leave dozens of people stranded at the airport without a ride. So I showed up and did my job and trusted that 8 Black would do right by me and the other drivers, and so far they have not.
1 week later, they're still waiting to get paid.
This week I asked them where our final pay is, and I haven't gotten an answer. Other drivers and other employees have also been met with silence when they ask, where are our wages?
According to Rich, the company was still selling and promoting prepaid vouchers right up until their shutdown. Money, he says, didn't go back to customers or employees.
So for me, I've written off the wages. It's not going to happen. It's clear I'm not going to get paid.
On top of formal demands to company leadership, Rich has also filed a wage complaint with the Colorado Department of Labor. Not for the money, but because he hopes to see the company face consequences.
And they have stolen our time, money, and energy from us. And if I can't get it back financially, I want to get it back in the criminal justice system.
Now, on the 8 Black website, it does have a link to a voucher refund request form and a note from the owner apologizing, saying it is his full intention to refund every customer, no matter how long it takes. We haven't heard back from the company in regards to employee pay. Ria Jaw, 9 News.
Ria, thank you. Let's turn our attention to the forecast now. Things are really starting to heat up heading into the weekend. Temps in the 90s before we will see cooler weather after that. It's also a busy weekend, so hopefully the weather cooperates.
Check in with Jaden Knowles joining us here at 9 o'clock. It's just been a gorgeous forecast to forecast.
Yeah, it really has been, because we all know how Colorado can get, especially in the summertime and severe weather time. Today we did see a couple of severe thunderstorms, mainly towards the eastern plain. Here in the metro area, it was very nice and beautiful. You can see so far over Horsetooth, beautiful sunset, as well as right here in downtown Denver. Current temperature 84 degrees, so a very nice and warm evening if you're out at the Metallica concert or any other events that you might be at. So far, current temperatures across the entire state, the low to mid 70s over towards the eastern plains. It is a little bit cooler there because that's where that severe thunderstorm was. But towards the high country, the upper 60s as well as the upper 50s. So far, live radar, there's those storms kind of moving into parts of Kansas right now, and they were severe just about an hour ago, but for the most part, it's not severe anymore, and it's starting to lose its kind of energy so far, so that's good news there. Forecast as we head into the latter parts of tonight, holding steady with the low 70s, so a very nice and comfortable evening to do any outdoor activities or maybe just to sleep like lots of us need. So far, though, your headlines of what we're tracking as we head into the weekend, warmer temperatures, but of course we are tracking some more storm chances as we head into next week. Of course, I have all the details in my full forecast.
All right, Jaden, thanks. Just into our newsroom tonight, a man suspected of attacking and threatening people in Boulder with a chain is now in custody. Police announced in just the last couple hours they arrested a 28-year-old man. They say he struck people with a chain, or he swung it in a threatening manner all around the city of Boulder yesterday morning and between then and his arrest this afternoon. Police identified 8 different victims. 7 were women, 1 was a man. They say nobody got seriously hurt from this. Police have not yet released the name of the man they arrested, but say that he faces several charges, including assault.
The man accused of firebombing peaceful demonstrators in Boulder earlier this month pleaded not guilty to federal hate crime charges today. Mohammed Salomon is suspected of throwing Molotov cocktails on a group raising awareness about Israeli hostages being held in Gaza. Salomon was indicted on 12 federal counts earlier this week. Those include hate crime acts and using an explosive to commit a felony. His most serious charges are in state court, where he faces attempted murder and attempted first-degree murder. During today's hearing, Salomon's attorney indicated he could change his plea at some point. In the wake of that attack, the Boulder Police Department is trying something new in an effort to respond to calls faster. Coming up on 9 News at 9:30, we'll take a look at the future of the department.
A funeral home owner in Colorado who stashed nearly 200 bodies is now headed to prison. Today, John Halford was sentenced to 20 years for conspiracy to commit wire fraud. It was the maximum possible sentence. This was for cheating customers and defrauding the federal government out of nearly $900,000 in COVID aid. Halford owned the Return to Nature funeral home in Penrose, Colorado. Investigators say he and his co-owner, Carrie Halford, improperly stored dozens of bodies between the 2019 and 2023. They would then send families fake ashes. Investigators described finding those bodies stacked on top of each other in a bug-infested building. Today, the victims' families, they got the chance to talk about how the Halfords' actions impacted them.
I was lied to in text message. I was lied to in email. I was lied to in phone calls. I was lied to right in my face constantly that my mom was being treated with respect, dignity, and honor, and that was the furthest thing from the truth.
Halford will be sentenced in August for separate state charges. He pleaded guilty to 191 counts of corpse abuse after mishandling the remains and sending the families fake ashes. His wife's federal trial is scheduled to start in September.
It's now been more than a month since the Boulder County coroner ruled Megan Trussell's death a suicide. The CU freshman was found dead near a culvert in Boulder Canyon in February. It was days after she was reported missing from her dorm. Megan's parents dispute the coroner's finding. Before it came out, they spent months pushing detectives to dig deeper, and they did some investigating of their own. They told 9 News a friend of theirs talked with people living on the streets of Boulder, and those conversations helped them discover someone collected cash for Megan's phone by selling it to an eco ATM. That's led them to believe people experiencing homelessness could be able to answer some of their questions.
9 News reporter Colton Chavez shows us how they're using outreach now in hopes of learning more.
The family of Megan Trussell has a team of people ready to help in their search for answers.
Absolutely, and a lot of them want to stay to help. Like, they just finished a game and now they're already here in line helping.
Inside this pickleball facility, the community is creating essential packages for people living on the streets of Boulder.
People want answers.
Answers Leah Schultz-Bartlett
Yes.
hopes will come from someone who receives a bag. And inside each of these care packages are a ton of different items that the unhoused community can use. I mean, inside they have everything from reusable wipes to even packets of shampoo as well. But the most important item inside this entire bag is a card with Megan's face on it and information for anyone if they have a tip or anything they like to share. They can give the family more information on what happened to Megan.
People really care about the cause. They've been reaching out, and everybody wants to support.
Megan's mother, Vanessa Diaz, knows what comes with each bag they give out.
Anything they have, any tips they have, anything they might have seen that night, anything they might have heard afterward about what might have happened to Megan.
The original goal was to hand out 60 bags.
We put out a call for donations, and within hours we sold out.
It's now up to 300, with plans to hand them out next week.
You know, it really just takes one person with a good bit of information to really help us figure out what really happened to her.
She was a close friend of our family. She was a close friend of my daughter's.
It's a game plan that loved ones hope will bring justice for Megan.
She would love this. If she were here, she would be here volunteering and helping too. But she's definitely with me in spirit here.
In Denver, Colton Chavez, 9 News.
The city of Parker is now letting people carry guns into its town hall, at least some of the time. The state ledge passed a law last year preventing people from bringing guns into government buildings and other so-called sensitive spaces like schools and child care centers, but local governments can override that restriction if it's on their own property. Parker decided to do just that earlier this month. The town council unanimously approved an ordinance allowing people and employees to bring guns into their town hall and to the old town hall properties. Now, there are exceptions to this ordinance, of course. Guns are not allowed when those properties serve as polling places or if they're holding court proceedings.
The City of Boulder is looking at scrapping parking minimums for new developments. The City Council unanimously approved moving forward with the change at the meeting last night. The city says requiring buildings to have a certain amount of parking increases development and housing costs, and it takes up valuable land. They also claim on average there's more parking available than is actually used. The City Council has another vote planned for this ordinance. If it passes, then it will take effect in August.
MSU Denver is building its very first on-campus student housing complex. They're calling it Summit House. It'll be off 12th and Auraria Parkway, the old MSU Denver baseball field. The building will be 12 stories tall, 550 beds for students who want to live on campus. The university's Board of Trustees unanimously approved the plans. It's a $117 million project. They just approved it this month. They have not said how much students will have to pay to live there, but they're targeting a $6,500 a semester fee. This will be the first phase in a two-building project called the Living and Learning Hub. The Auraria campus is creating a 12-story building nearby for workforce housing as well. That will also include an early learning center. Both of these buildings are expected to be done by 2027.